Yes, I changed my socks specially because I thought they were kind of more fun. I I think they might technically be Christmas socks, but I thought no one would see that. Oh, sweet. Yeah, we should have been wearing Eastery socks, I guess, shouldn't we? They're really boring. You failed. That's fine. You'll know better next time. Okay. Oh, pastel, I think. So let's sit up nice and tall. Let's lengthen through the spine, bring the feet to the floor. Let's draw the elbows back a little bit. And draw the chin in just a little bit, like you're making a bit of a double chin, so your neck is nice and long. And then think about the top of your head reaching for the ceiling. And keep the spine long, but let's rest against the back of the chair. And then let the chin drop a little bit. And if you're okay with your eyes closed, go ahead and close your eyes. And just let your breath settle down. Notice if it feels quick or labored or shallow. We'll just try to let it slow down a little bit. Especially if you just rushed in and sat down, get your shoes off and get everything ready. Just take a moment. And then take a little scan of your body starting from the head. And notice if you've got any areas that feel really uncomfortable. And then if you do, maybe you can sit in a slightly different way or make some adjustments. Just realize I think do not disturb. There we go. Let's bring the hands to the belly. That will help us feel our breath moving. Don't need to breathe in any special way. And then slide one hand up towards your chest. And maybe you can feel a little movement in your chest as well. So don't change your breathing to force that. We're just noticing what's going on in our bodies. And keep breathing nice and softly. Let's bring the hands back down to the thighs. Let them rest nice and heavy there. And then you can open your eyes, or you can keep them closed for this part if you like. But as you inhale, we'll slowly lift the chin, lengthen through the throat. And as you exhale, slowly lower. Take that whole breath to get to the bottom of the movement. Slow breath in, slow movement of the head, not scrunching the back of the neck, and then exhale to lower. We'll do that one more time. I have no idea what this music is today, so we'll just see what happens with it. And we'll come back to the center, still sitting up nice and tall, that good posture. We'll turn the head towards the right shoulder. And then come back through the center and turn it towards the left. Noticing any differences along the way. Easier to move one way than the other, maybe. Different than last week, different than yesterday. And we'll do once more to each side, moving at your own pace. Glad to see everyone moving nice and slowly. And when you've finished off turning to the left, we'll come back to the center. We'll drop the chin again. And then we'll let that head come over towards the right shoulder. Come down through the center and then towards the left. And we'll just do that a couple of times. Just slowly moving. And then next time we'll come up and over. We're making a little rainbow shape. And then we'll make our way back to the beginning. Let's move the shoulders around. Start by lifting them up towards the ears and then relaxing down. We'll do that a couple of times, lifting them up and then relax. And once more. And then let's bring the hands to the shoulders and we'll make some big circles. So you can draw your elbows forward and then up and around. Making it only as big as feels comfortable. And then switch directions, going back and then bringing them forward. As you're doing that, try to focus on the movement of the shoulder blades. See if you can feel it gliding around as you move. And then we'll lower down, let the arms just hang down heavy. You can let them move a little bit or rotate in and out. First lay off. We'll bring the hands down. I'm going to try something a little bit different here. So make sure you're firmly on your chair. We're going to reach that right leg out and reach the left arm out. So like you're reaching on diagonal. So you can point, maybe let's try pointing the toes. Keep reaching. So keep breathing and then bring it down. And then we'll do the other side. So reach through the left toes. Your foot might stay on the floor. You can lift it up and then reach through that right arm, really reaching it up. Nice long diagonal and then bring it down. It will look very elegant. And do the opposite side. Let's reach. And then let's turn the head towards that left, looking at the left hand. Keep breathing and then bring it down. Left leg, right arm, reach. Turn to look towards the right hand. And then bring it down. We'll do that once more to each side. Nice big stretch out. Opening the chest, reach the arm a little bit behind you maybe, and then come down. And then the other side. Oh, that's more work than I thought. And bring it down and move those shoulders around a little bit. That's quite a big movement for us. So let's take a rest from big movements and come to some small movements. So we'll come to our hands and start by making a fist, and we'll circle at the wrists. And then let's switch directions. And then we'll pause. Let's check in with the posture to make sure we're not slumping down too casual like. We'll stretch the fingers out wide and then we'll close them down. Stretch them wide and then close them down. We'll do that once more before we add to it. So like trial by fire for you, okay? We're going to go further now. Stretch and a claw and a beak and a fist. Stretch and claw and beak and fist. We'll do that once more. Stretch and claw and beak and fist. So now we're going to shake it up a little bit. So we'll start with a claw and a stretch and a fist. Claw, beak, fist, claw, stretch, beak, claw, fist. All right, pretty good. Let's close the eyes and do it just by hearing it. So claw, stretch, beak, stretch, fist, beak, fist, claw, claw, stretch, beak, claw, fist, stretch, beak, claw, stretch, fist, stretch, beak, fist. And then give them all a shake. So I didn't see how good or bad that was. But, right, we're just trying to use all our senses here. Give them a little shake out, like you're trying to get water off your fingers. And then we'll stretch them out. Let's take the right hand, palm facing up. We'll take 2 fingers from the opposite hand, and we're not pushing down, we're just letting them rest there. So just let the weight of those fingers do some work for you. Still sitting up nice and tall. And then we'll switch to the ring finger. And to the middle finger. and the index finger, and the thumb. And let's just give some of those knuckles a little attention. If there was anything that felt particularly tight or sore. So we'll send good wishes to Brian while we're doing this, since we will miss his clicking of the knuckles or cracking of the knuckles. And we'll try the other hand. So left hand out. 2 fingers from the right hand just resting on the pinky finger. And then the ring finger. As you're doing that, notice where you feel the stretch in your palm and up into your forearm. And then the middle finger. And the index finger. And the thumb. And then release that. Give the thumb and any other knuckles a little attention. Let's move the hands around a little bit. So let's bring each finger to tap towards the thumb. So you might actually reach the thumb, or you might just get close to it. So tap, 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 tap. A couple more times. So alternate fingers, Caroline. So we'll do it a couple more times for you to tap, then the middle finger, and then the ring finger and the pinky finger. Yeah, a couple more. So we're tapping through the fingers. Can't make it too easy. And then tap, 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 tap. Nice, give them a little movement. And let's bring the hands to heart center and push the palms away. As you do that, let the back round and tuck the chin a little bit. As you inhale, lift the arms. So depending on your shoulders or whether you had a shot today, your arms might be right up beside the ears, or maybe you only come to here, that's fine. Exhale to fold. As you inhale, lift the chin and chest, coming away from the chair, lifting up. And as you exhale, rounding the spine the opposite way, and inhale to lift. Let's do one more like that, folding forward as you exhale. And as you inhale, lift the arms. We'll release the fingers, reach them up towards the ceiling, and then take a side bend to the right. Come up through the center and over to the left. This time we'll come up, come to the right. We're going to stay here for a couple of breaths. So don't hold your breath here. I want you to think about that left hip pushing downwards as you reach up and over. And let's turn the head towards the floor for a moment. We're going to stay in this position, but bring that left arm down across the front and then scoop it around into a big circle. You can keep your head still, or you could follow that hand with your eyes, turning your head a little bit. Let's do one more. We'll reach that arm up and over, and we'll keep reaching it and begin to turn the chest as though you're reaching for something towards the corner. And then let that hand drop down to the knee and fold towards that right thigh. Take a couple of breaths here. And then we'll slowly lengthen the spine and take a little twist to the right. So keeping nice long spine. Good. Turning the head a little bit towards that right shoulder. To reach the right arm behind us. Keep a little bit in this twist and reach up and over towards the opposite corner. So it's a little bit of a side bend and a twist. And then bring that hand down to the left knee and take a forward fold. And take a few breaths there. Keep breathing. Let's slowly lengthen. Let's take a backstroke of one arm behind and then the other. And then bring everything back to the center. And take a breath. Let's take a little sip of water now. So we'll do that on the other side. So we'll start by interlacing the fingers and look down at your thumb, then switch your thumb and then switch all the other fingers. So it might feel a little strange to hold your fist that way. That's deliberate. Push the palms away round the spine as you exhale. As you inhale, lift the arms. Exhale to fold. And inhale to lift. So if this breathing is too slow for you, take an extra breath. Maybe for you, you're breathing out here and then in and then out again. That is completely fine. Slowly breathing up. This time we'll release the hands when they get up there. And then we'll take a side bend to the left. Inhale through the center and over to the right. And then once more over to the left. Hold it there for a couple of breaths. You can turn the head to look towards the floor. And then we'll make our big circles. Bring the arm down and around. Oh, it's so nice to see a blue sky, isn't it? That's a good thing about skylight. So you look up through there and you see the tree budding. It's lovely. Keep reaching and reaching, then begin to turn the chest. So you're reaching to get something from the corner and then lower that hand and fold towards that left knee. And we'll slowly lengthen and take a twist to the left. And so remember, with all these movements, we're not trying to take the biggest twist we've ever done. So maybe ease off a little bit so we're not overdoing it. Reach the left arm behind and then sweep it up and over, reaching towards the opposite corner, and then slowly lowering it down to the knee and take that forward fold again. And slowly lengthen. As you come up, we'll reach one arm behind like a big backstroke, and then the other one, and then move everything around a little bit. I'm going to take another sip of water because I'm talking. Okay. Let's give our arms a rest and come back to our feet. So feet are flat on the floor. So just take a moment and notice how different your feet are. If you were to make a footprint in the sand now, would they be completely the same, or would one have a little bit more weight on the outside, one is pushing a little more into the big toe? Right? It's normal for us to have these little inequities in our stance. So let's just move our feet around a little bit as though we're trying to make that footprint as deep as we can. And then we'll come back to the center. Let's lift the toes off the floor if you can. Only some of mine want to lift. That's nice. And then lower them down. Yeah, mine just don't want to lift up very much. Lift the toes, just the toes. And then relax them down to the floor. Let's do once more. Okay, so basically everyone can lift their toe. This little toe just is like stuck to the floor and then lower. So let's lift the heels. So you're coming into your high-heeled Barbie shoes. And then lower down and we'll pull the toes back towards the shins. Lift the heels. Notice if you feel some work in those calf muscles. And then lower the heels, pull the toes back, and you might feel a stretch in your shins. Good to do that before and after you go for a walk. So we'll do that a few times. Lift heels, lift the toes. Down. And then maybe Juanita's watching and we'll do her least favorite thing. We're going to lift one heel and one toe. And then switch. And switch. And switch. And switch. A little bit faster. And then we'll lower down. We'll take our little run, doing our little football warm-up. Tapping in, then out, then in, then out. You know, because we all play football, obviously. Make some noise. That's very gentle there, Carolyn. Yeah. We're going to sit up tall. I'm going to stretch out our knees a little bit. So lifting one leg and then the other, just to get the creaks out. Lengthen, and then as that feels a little better, we can begin to reach through that heel as we lift. Lift and reach. So you're pushing something away with the heel. Lift and reach. Lift and reach. And lift. Next time you lift the right leg, we're going to leave it out there. And we'll point and flex. I feel like I'm wearing Dr. Seuss socks or something, actually. I think these might be the first time. I've got so many of them now that everyone's given me. I feel like I could just wear them once, and then we'll make circles at the ankle. And switch directions. What did you had kittens on yours? So now we're going to imagine we've got ink on our big toe. We're going to write kittens. And then bring that leg down, give a little shake. And let's do the other leg. Reach that left leg out, we'll point and flex. And then we'll make those circles. So trying to keep the leg still, just moving at the ankle. And switch directions. So this time, with this foot, we're going to write Paisley, because two of us have got Paisley pants. Well, mine's not really Paisley. We can pretend we've got Paisley, but since you are dressed in that nice shirt, we'll write Paisley with this big toe. I'm sure we're all spelling it slightly differently. That's okay. We're just moving it randomly, right? And then bring it down and give it a little shake. Nice. Let's bring the feet wide. So however wide is comfortable. Knees are in line with that second toe. So we don't want to be here. We want to be here. So if it's comfortable to have them really wide, that's fine. I'm going to sit up really tall on those sits bones. Let's take that right arm, sweep it across the body, and then catch hold of it with the opposite forearm. And then we'll turn to the right. Take a couple of breaths here. And while we're here, let's lift that right heel and lower it down and lift the left heel. We'll do that once more each side. And then we'll bring the head back to the center, release that arm, just move that shoulder around a little bit. And then we'll take the left arm, sweep it across, catch hold of it with the other arm, and then look towards the left. Take a couple of breaths. And let's do some more heel lifts. One, and then the other, and then one, and then the other, and then relax everything down, make some movements. I think we'll do that again, but we'll do it a little bit later than usual. Oh, and we'll bring everything back to the center. Let's do a little bit of sun salutation. That cloud is trying to come over. Let's bring the arms straight down by the side. So we're sitting up nice and tall, ribs are in, nice long spine. We'll slowly inhale and lift the arms up. As you exhale, fold forward. We're lifting halfway, so lengthening the spine, let the shoulder blades draw down onto the back, and then fold as you exhale. Inhale, lift and reach the arms up. This time we're going to take hold of the hand, clasp the hands, reach the index finger to the ceiling. Take a little side bend to the right. Come up to the center, and then a side bend left. Come up to the center, undo the hands, let them come down through the center, slowly breathing, lowering them down. And we'll do that again. Inhale to lift, exhale and fold. Lifting halfway as you lengthen that spine. Exhale and fold. Inhale, lift and sweep the arms up. Let's take that side bend again, interlacing the fingers, reach the index finger to the ceiling and take a side bend. And come up through the center, and then another side bend. Coming through the center, lowering the hands down, bringing the palms together, relaxing the shoulders when you get there, and then relax the hands. Let's do once more. So let's start in a good position of posture and lift the arms and fold. Lift halfway and fold. Inhale, lift and sweep the arms up. Let's do our side bends once more. Reaching up and then over, through the center and over. Last time, coming down through the center, moving slowly and relax. Take a sip of water if you need one. So we're going to continue with doing something we've been doing every week, which is trying to strengthen our legs. So it's very simple. The first movement, when moving the right leg, is to imagine you're lifting it up and stepping over a little piece of Lego. So very small, right? Just lifting it up, stepping out, and then stepping in. So that may be what you do today. So if you're at home and you're tired, or you could just sweep the leg in and out. But if you can, lift it a little bit. And then you can imagine you're stepping up and over. Did we say a small child last week? Lift it up and over. Or your dog. The cat's on the floor and you're lifting up and over. So very soon you're going to feel some tiredness in these muscles. So we'll try to stay upright. That's what it looks like when a young person does it. Oof. And then we'll pause. Let's bring that leg, oh, that was my knee, out. And we're going to just lift and lower it an inch. Can you feel that muscle working? Lengthen your spine, and yes, just a little movement. And then let's bring that down. A little bit of work. Yes, right in there. Yes, that's what we're trying to do, get those hip flexors moving. So this is important for when we want to step upstairs and just functional movement. So start with the left leg. So again, there's always that option to slide it if you can't lift it, or you can step over the Lego. I would like to think someone's at home stepping over their cat right now, right? That'd be kind of fun. And then we'll step over that imaginary cat. Ooh, this leg doesn't want to work as well. Maybe it's an Amazon driver in a borrowed van or something, lifting up and over. So do you notice that one leg feels stronger, or you can have more mobility than the other? That's pretty normal. Let's do one more. I'm not enjoying this very much. And then if I can get my leg out without it creaking, we'll lift it up. And we're just going to lift and lower, just a tiny bit. Ooh. And then bring it down. Whew. So we were using the front of our legs a lot then, this hip flexor. It's a big, strong muscle. I'm going to try to use the back side, literally the back side. So I want you to start by sitting here and just, if you can, squeeze one buttock cheek and then squeeze the other one. So not everyone can do that. And squeeze the other one. Now I want you to squeeze that and think of using the back of the leg to lift it just an inch off the floor and then relax it. Then the other side, squeeze the cheek and then lift it up. Trying to use those glutes to do a little bit of work. Squeeze and lift. Squeeze and lift. Can you feel that back of the leg moving and working a little bit? And lift. Let's do one more to each side. Whew. And then we'll take a resting pose. So hands can come to the knees and fold forward. I like to bring the forearms to the thighs and just hang out in a not very ladylike way. And take some breaths. So when you're in this forward fold position, you can think about breathing into those back ribs, letting them expand as you breathe in, and then relax as you breathe out. And then we'll slowly come back to our seated position. Okay, so we worked our arms, our legs, we twisted and bent. The only thing left is our brains. Dear. So let's try this. I haven't normally I run it through in my head, but I haven't practiced this. So we'll start with, we're going to go across. So we're playing patty cake. So across to the front and down. Okay? Across, across, and front, and down. Once more. Across, across, and front, and down. This time we're going to start by tapping our head. So tap, tap, across, across, in front, and down. Tap, tap, across, across. I shouldn't look at anyone because let's do that once more. Right, across. Oh, tap, tap. Just don't listen to me, basically. Okay, so this time, so we did that side. Let's tap to the opposite knee. So we're going to start with the opposite knee, then come to the head, and then across. Theoretically, yes, some version of that. Okay, across, across. Tap the head, and in front, and together. Once more, tap, tap, head, head, across, across, front. Once more, a little faster. Head, head, across, across, in front. Last time, and faster. Don't hit too hard. Oh, that I hit that down. I was very so. Sometimes when we're doing tapping the head, we do it a little bit too fast. It's like, oh, that was a big bonk on the head, but that was actually more of a slap to my thighs. Oh, that was good. That was pretty good. Let's do one more bit of exercise on our core. So we're going to scoot forward a little bit. And since Joe's new, we'll go through some of finding our core. So it's good to use your breath to try and engage that core. And we like to use the exhale breath. So as you exhale, I want you to feel that everything is closing into the center. So different people feel different things. You could think of your belly button pulling in and then scooping up underneath your ribs. Obviously, you're thinking of that. It's not going to do that. You could think of these hip points squeezing towards each other. That's my favorite. Or you could think of the ribs trying to close. So we're trying to use all these muscles to move rather than using our legs. So we'll start with our I Dream of Jeannie arms to get our arms out of the equation. So the spine is staying nice and long here. Hinge back a couple of inches. Now use that exhale to pull everything in. Inhale back. Exhale. You feel a little bit of work there? And then maybe take our zombie arms. Doesn't have to be a big movement. In fact, you could do this staying completely still and just engaging those muscles. Let's do one more. Doesn't look like you're enjoying that very much. It's not supposed to be fun, that part. So let's turn to face the right side. So we'll keep the feet flat on the floor. So both feet are on the floor. We'll take the arms down beside that front knee and reach them up into our warrior one. And keep breathing and keep it simple today. And let's bring the hands down and bring them just behind your back. So you can put one hand on top of the other in your lower back. Keep the spine long, and we're just leaning forward a few inches for our humble warrior. So we're hinging forward. Keep the feet pushing into the floor as you do that. So you might come forward an inch or two. You might be able to come really far forward, but I want you to keep the weight on your sits bones and that nice long spine. Then we'll slowly lift up. Release the arms and sit them up in warrior wall. Keep breathing. And then we'll lower the arms. Hold onto the back of the chair with your right arm. Slide that left foot out towards the middle of the room. Keep facing the right leg and keep the spine long as we hinge or tilt towards that extended leg. And you can decide where you'd like your gaze to be. I like to look at my foot. You could look straight ahead. Keep breathing. And then let's slowly come back up. Bend that leg in, give a little movement. And then holding onto your chair, we'll come around to the other side. And we'll try that on the other side. So starting out, both feet on the floor, one facing the wall, one is a little bit out to the side, just depending on your flexibility. And then we'll reach the arms up and forward. So nice strong arms here. So warrior one might look like your arms are up beside your ears, or they might be in front. So somewhere that is comfortable and strong. These look nice, ladies. And then we'll bring the arms down and slide behind the back. Yes, you could bring them to your hips as well. And then begin to hinge forward. Taking a little bow forward. Feel the strength in your back and your core as you're doing this. So you're still breathing, although you're holding the position. Begin to lengthen the spine, coming back up. Release the hands, and then we'll find that warrior one again. Lowering the arms, hold onto the back of the chair with that left hand, right leg slides out towards the center, and take that triangle pose. And again, choosing where you'd like your head to be. Trying to pull those toes back towards the shins as you do this. Let's slowly lengthen. Bring that leg in, give it a little bit of movement. And then we'll come back to the center. Do a little bit more leg stretching. So scooting forward a little bit, we'll bring that right leg out in front. The heel's on the floor, that left foot is flat on the floor. We'll pull the toes back towards us. Let's bring the hands to the thighs and keep the spine nice and long as you hinge forward. So again, pausing when you feel some resistance and maybe easing off a little bit so it's not too big a stretch. Let's slowly lengthen. Bring that leg in, let it move around. And we'll try the other side. So again, one leg might feel a little different than the other. Pulling the toes back towards the shin, keep the spine nice and long and hinge forward. And slowly lengthening. Bring that leg in, give it a little shake around. Let's come into our pigeon pose. So if you have issues with your hips, you might just bring that right heel to the ankle, or if you're at home and you have a stool, you could bring it to something a little higher, or if you can bring it to your thigh. So let's get situated first. We want equal weight on the sits bones, and this foot is pulling itself back, so it's nicely flexed. Make sure that left foot is flat on the floor. And then we just bring the chest forward an inch or two until you feel a little stretch. And then just keep breathing, or a big stretch. So this is a pose that we need to stay in longer than a lot of other ones, because it takes a while for this muscle to kind of give it up and relax. We want it to soften and relax. Once it does, you can maybe get a little further forward. And this is definitely one way you'll feel a big difference on each side. And just keep breathing. Another good opportunity to think about breathing into the back ribs as you're folded forward. Slowly lengthen. Ooh. So option here to cross the legs knee over knee, if that feels okay. Otherwise, we could bring the ankles across. Still sitting up tall. Let's take that left hand to the thigh. Push down and get nice and tall. And we'll sweep the right arm around. Looking towards that arm if you can. Reaching. And then eventually you can let it relax down to the back of the chair or the hip. Let's begin to release. Come through the center. Take a little twist the other way. And come back to the middle. Unwind everything. And then we'll try that on the other side. So again, you can keep the foot down. You could raise it onto something in front of you, something a little bit higher, or you can bring it all the way up and over. Making sure we've got equal weight on the sits bones, pulling these toes back, and then we'll begin to hinge. Look how different that is than it was a couple of years ago when you couldn't do that though. Was it that hip or the other? It was that one, wasn't it? That the other one. Yeah. Yeah. But you can at least move it now. Yes. Yeah. This feels really juicy on this side. Slowly lengthen, reluctantly. Ooh. And then we'll cross either at the ankles or at the knees. Let's bring that right hand down to push down to lengthen, and then sweep the left arm around. Reaching through those fingers, looking towards the left shoulder. You can keep the arm up or you can let it relax down. Let's begin to unwind. Take a little twist the other way. And come back to the center, unwind the legs, let it move around a little bit. Let's come back to our previous leg and shoulder pose with the feet wide. Sitting up nice and tall, we'll take that right arm, sweep it across, catch it with the other arm, and look over the right shoulder. And just take a few breaths. And then bring the head back to the center, release the arm, move it around a little bit. And then we'll take the left arm, sweep it across, catch it, and look over the left shoulder. The other left. No, left, you're right, the correct arm. So left, you were right, you were correct with the arm. The other arm, this arm, that arm across, and then look towards the shoulder. Yeah. I didn't want to say right, that's the right arm because it's good. I know someone else who does exactly the same thing, yeah. And let's release that, make a few movements with the shoulder. Oh, yeah, I've lost my train of thought now. What was I going to do? Yes, that is nice to do some backstroke. Let's do some backstroke. Oh, I know what it was I was going to do. There we go. I'm going to bring my feet a little bit closer because I don't like having that out that wide for that long. And then I'm going to bring the arms out wide, point the fingers back, lift the chest. So think of the shoulder blades moving towards each other. And then we're going to wrap the arms around. Let's bring the right arm on top or an arm on top. It doesn't matter which one. Arm number one comes on top. Tuck the chin and slowly fold forward. Lots of shoulder stretches today. Stay in that fold, breathing into the back ribs. And then next time you breathe in, we'll lengthen the spine as you inhale. Open the arms wide, reach them back, lift the chin and chest, and then we'll wrap around for arm number 2 on top. And we'll take that same fold, forward fold, tucking the chin, slowly rolling forward, widening across the back. Next time you're breathing in, we'll lift the chest as you do that. Open the arms, and then we'll make circles the opposite way. So we'll bring the circles forward, or whatever way you want to move. Let's come back to our very first stretch. So we reach the right leg out and that left arm, big stretch. So looking back towards the hand, like we're waving off the yacht. And then relax everything down, switch, reaching out. And then lower down, once more each side. Ooh, that was my ankle. And then reach. And bring everything back to the center. Let's sit up comfortably. We're just going to do a little bit more head movement first. Let's drop that right chin, your right chin, right ear towards the right shoulder. Let's lengthen that left arm away a little bit. And then turn the chin so you're looking a little bit closer to the floor. Let's release the hand, bring the head down through the center, and then back up to the middle. Left ear to left shoulder. Doesn't have to be a big movement. You could stay here, you can reach the arm, the other arm. Yeah. And then you can turn the chin. And then relax the arm, bring the head back to the center. Let's make some circles. So think of making the circle in front of you with your nose. So we're not tipping the head back very far, just getting that neck moving. Do a few in one direction and then go the opposite direction. And come back to the center, make some circles with the shoulders up and around. And if there's any other movement you want to take before Shavasana, you could take that now. Otherwise, we'll set up in a comfortable way to sit. So feet on the floor, we still want that long spine, but we can let the back rest against the chair. You can drop the chin and let the elbows come back so your arms are just sitting relaxed on your thighs. And we'll start by coming back to that movement of the breath, slowing everything down. And we'll begin to relax the body, starting with the top of the head and the forehead. Relaxing the cheekbones and the jaw. Noticing the back of the neck. Letting the back of the neck lengthen down between your shoulder blades. Letting your shoulders be heavy. Relaxing across your upper back. Notice the back of your ribs against the chair. Maybe you can feel a little movement of the ribs against the chair with each breath. Relaxing the lower back. And softening the throat. Notice the slight movement of your chest as you breathe. And get a sense of wideness across the collarbones. Keeping your belly soft. Feel the expansion and the relaxation with each breath. Letting your upper arms be relaxed. Your elbows are soft. Your forearms down to your wrists. And feel the weight of the hands and the heat of your palms. And let that wave of relaxation extend all the way to your fingertips. Feel the weight of your back of the legs against the chair. And the weight of your hands on your thighs. Relaxing your knees, your lower legs, ankles. Feel your footprint on the floor. Let them get heavier. And let that wave of relaxation extend all the way to the tips of your toes. And focusing on your breath. Imagine with each exhale, you're sinking a little deeper, getting a little heavier. Noticing the movement of your breath. If your mind wanders, just bring it back to the next breath. Let your breathing deepen a little by extending the inhale and exhale. And we'll introduce some small movements, starting with the fingers and the toes. Circling the wrists and the ankles. And if you want to take a big stretch, you can reach your arms overhead. Then when you're ready, we'll release the arms and sit up nice and tall. Let's bring the hands to heart center and take a deep breath. Well, thank you all for sharing your time with me this afternoon. Good to see some new faces, and we're sending out lots of love and positive thoughts to all our regular friends who are either just away or not feeling great today. So until next week, namaste. Have a great Easter, everyone. Thank you.